Okay, so let's grab our block. You can just take all the balls out for now and just set them off to the side. We'll use some of those in a minute. But just starting here at the block, so we're gonna have it on its middle height, and we're gonna use this edge, and it's gonna go right at the base when we lie down. It's gonna go right at the base of the skull. So make sure you're just set up in a way that the block's not gonna tip over for you. Okay, but I want you to think about once you come down, resting the block so that if I could feel the edge of my skull, it's gonna be hitting right at the front edge of this block. Now this is gonna make my chin drop down, right? So I should feel like I have a little bit of a double chin. Okay, now from here, since I'm slightly on the occiput, right? So I'm on the back side of my skull, on the actual skull, and then I want you just to tilt your nose, don't pick up your head, just lean your head to the right and then back to center. Now you can take it all the way over, like if you want to really turn your head to the right far, you can, and just kind of hit that whole bottom ridge of the skull. But you should notice that somewhere around halfway, so maybe somewhere if 0 is center and 90 is all the way to the right, somewhere around 45, there should maybe be a little bit of feedback there, a little tenderness where we hit some muscle. And we'll just sit there for a moment and make really small little circles with your nose. Okay, so just real light. And if you don't find that spot, just find anywhere along that path that maybe gives you a little bit of feedback. So again, we're on the skull. Good. Maybe just one more little circle. And then come back to center. And if your head got moved off to the side, just bring it back in the middle. And now again, we'll start doing it to the left. So again, you can turn the head all the way to the left and all the way back to center and just kind of explore for the first couple of turns. And then start to notice where you get the feedback the most along that train that's moving. And for me, it's about 45-degree angle, right? Not lifting my head, but just turning it. And once you find that spot, you're just going to stay there with the edge of the block on the skull and make little tiny circles with your nose. So they're only like a quarter size. They're not big circles. I don't want the block to move. I don't even barely want the head to move. I want it to feel mostly like the skin around the skull is moving. Maybe just one or two more. And then back to center. And then you're just gonna drop that block a little bit below the skull. So now you've just slid the block down towards your neck, just enough that you feel like the little lip of the ridge of your skull is now over the edge of the block. And now the block can kind of dive under the skull. And we'll do the same thing. You're just gonna lean all the way to the right, rotating the head, come back through center, and now we can go all the way over to the left. So now we're hitting a little bit more of the musculature in the spine that connects up into the base of the skull. Now, if you feel anything that's kind of referring some tenderness along this line, we're going to stay on the right side for this next one. You'll just go to the right. And anywhere there that you feel like is giving you some talking to, just go ahead and pause. And just take a really big inhale. And an even bigger exhale. One more really nice big full inhale. And an even fuller exhale. Then come back to center. And we'll do it on the left. So now tilting the head to the left and deciding where along that line that you feel like there's some resistance. And go ahead and take a big inhale in. Exhale out. Another big inhale in. And exhale out. Good. Head comes back to center. And then we're just gonna roll onto your side. Go ahead and push down into your hands and slide this block under your arm. Okay, we're gonna release a little bit of the under part of the shoulder. So move it just a little bit below the armpit. So I'm not gonna be so high that I'm touching the back of the arm this time. I'm gonna feel like I'm a little lower, more on the ribs, and now I'm catching some of the bra. And you can bring it as low or as high as you want it there, where you feel like it's giving you some talking to. So what we're kind of searching for when we're just to do these little lean forwards and lean backs, right? When I say like tenderness or where I feel like there's some resistance, right? I want you to notice if there's places throughout the body that just, I don't want it to be painful, right? We don't want to look for pain, but we want to look for stuff that just doesn't feel quite the same as everything else. And again, pain is the best word I can think of to describe it sometimes, but it's the kind of pain that feels like it's productive, right? Like there's kind of a difference between the pain that feels like your body wants to seize away from it, and then there's the kind of pain that your body wants to kind of ease into and investigate a little bit. So that's kind of what we're looking for. So we're just doing a little bit of release work for the whole head, neck, and shoulder area, just to see if we can kind of get some release through the whole upper part of the body. So just this little lean back, lean forward. Maybe just one more. Good. And then let's go ahead and just take it to the other side. So you can just roll over. Place it under the other arm. So again, it's pretty low. You can see it on the backside a little better. I'm below the armpit, I'm on the ribs. For me, it hits me right around my bra strap. And I'm just gonna roll forward till I'm parallel. And then I'm gonna roll back slightly till I'm angled up towards the ceiling. Gonna just get a few more in here. All right, one more. Okay, take a big breath in here. Go ahead and press yourself up. Keep your block close by. And we're gonna take the double ball. Okay, so go ahead and grab for this guy. And you're gonna use this bottom part of the ball like a handle. Okay, the block could be here in case you wanna lift up onto your block for your hips. We're gonna lie back down. And I'm just gonna take the ball, the bottom part of that ball, and it's gonna go right kind of behind the L shape of where the neck and the shoulder meet. I'm gonna go kind of right behind there. And you'll have to just play with it once you get it there. But I'm gonna wedge that ball between the floor and my shoulder. And I already can feel that is making some contact with something that's talking to me. You can look to maybe put the block on its lowest height and lift your hips if you want more. But once you feel like you've got it kind of wedged in there and it's not gonna go anywhere, you can decide if you wanna just lay into it and just pause here, or you can start maybe making some movements with the arm. Now I can tell that I've kind of caught a little bit of that muscle at the upper inner corner of my scapula, my shoulder blade. There's that levator scapula that lifts the shoulder blade up to the ear. So it kind of runs from the corner up to my neck. So you might just see if you can search for that feeling, or maybe you're just on the back of the trapezius here. But I'm just gonna I'm on my left side. So I'm gonna move my left arm and I'm gonna move it across the body to the right, just to kind of try to make a little bit of long movements here with the muscles pinned. Now I'm gonna move my arm up by my head, maybe down towards my hip. But you can kind of explore and decide if the movement feels good. And if it doesn't, you can just rest the arm over the body. Now you can also push down into your feet and kind of press energetically the body back towards your head and maybe even put a little more pressure in the ball. And again, we're searching for things that feel productive. So watch that your edge isn't being challenged, right? We don't want to be pushing ourselves to the point that our body and our nervous system is starting to feel like we're in some peril. Take one more big breath here. Now, if there's another spot you want to try to hit that's maybe a little bit lower beneath between the shoulder blade and the spine, you can adjust the ball one more time. So now I've just slid it down. It's still in between the scapula and the spine. And I can still access that upper part of the ball if I need to. And then again, I'm going to move my arm. But again, these are just suggestions. You make this experience work for you. So if movement's too intense, maybe just breathing's enough. I'm just taking a couple of deep, full breaths here. And give me just 2 more breaths. 2 more full inhales and exhales. One more. Okay. Go ahead and reach back with the hand opposite of the shoulder you're using and grab for the ball, and we'll do the other side. Okay, so again, I'm going to grab onto one end of that double ball. And I'm going to use that like a handle as I go to the other side. Now I'm starting kind of high up. And it's going to lift you over to the side, right? You're going to kind of lean over to the opposite side because the ball's there. So you can kind of resist that rotation by pressing back down into the ball. And the block is unnecessary. You don't have to have your hips elevated. It just depends on the intensity you're searching for. Now, again, I'm going to just move my arm. Now I have it on my right side. And I'm going to move that right arm across my body towards my left side. And I'm just going to move that arm up and down, which ideally is also moving my shoulder blade up and down, or maybe even in and out a little bit. You can explore moving the arm wide of the body. You can also just rest the arm if it feels good to just rest. There's also the ability to push down into the feet and energetically drive your body back towards your head, right? So I'm not actually physically moving as much as I'm just creating a little bit more pressure. And then we'll find one more spot. Maybe you just drive that ball a little lower between the shoulder blade and the spine. So I still can see or feel the top of the ball kind of lining up with my neck or where my neck and shoulder meet. And again, I'm going to make some movements with my arm here. As I bring the arm across the body, I'm protracting my shoulder blade, right? It's coming out and forward to come around with my arm. So you should feel like there is some movement here in the shoulder blade. And all I'm really doing is kind of opening up and exposing some of the musculature that lives more underneath the shoulder blade. And I'm also lengthening the muscles that connect my shoulder blade into my spine. Now just rest your arm somewhere and we'll just take 3 big breaths. Okay, so just really try to close your eyes. Take your breath nice and full. Full inhale into the ribs and the belly. 3 deep breaths. And even fuller exhale. 2 more. Good. All right, go ahead and reach back with that opposite hand. Remove the ball. Set it off to the side. If your hips are on the block, just slide the block out from underneath you. And then the last one we're going to do here, roll yourself up slowly, is we're going to do some extension work with the block. So hopefully we've released a little bit in the upper back. And now we're going to set that block up so that it comes and just hits us right at the base of those shoulder blades. Now you may have to adjust according to your own bony structure, but just I like to tap it, right? Just kind of feel like I can move my shoulder blades, the base of my shoulder blade, and tap the block. And then I'm going to bring my hands behind my head. I'm going to try to keep some stability here in the lower part of the body, in the lower half of the spine, as I let my head be heavy. I'm going to push back, keep the elbows wide, and try to open the chest up towards the ceiling. Letting the upper back try to arch over the block. And then we're going to try to come up and do this little baby ab work. But it's just starting to turn on the belly as well. So inhaling, expanding back. Don't be too tense in the core. Just a subtlety there that's supportive. And then exhale, curl it up. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, curl it up and in. Couple more. Inhale, take it back. Exhale. Try to really maximize your breath with the movement. Inhale, take it back. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. Good. So place the forearms down on the floor. You can move the block out of the way. And we're just going to do a little bit of core work here. So try to get yourself supported on those elbows. You can lift your chest, so you're going to push down into the forearms here. And then we're just going to start to hover those feet. You're going to just take the knees over to the right. And then slowly we're going to start to extend the legs out. Keep that cinching into the core. Try to change nothing. Then come back to center and take it over to the left. So what I really want to look for here is, can I stabilize everything in the middle? The back, the core, the shoulders, everything's going to stay pretty much the same. I'm lifting through the chest. Just taking the knees back and forth, getting a little bit of rocking sensation on the pelvis. Now you can stay here, or if you want to try to rise up onto the hands, you can start to come up and place the hands behind you or out wide, and we'll do the same thing. Now you can skip the straightening of the legs. If that's not feeling like it's serving you today, just keep the legs bent. And again, just work on this kind of cinching in and this feeling of support through the spine. Good, maybe just a couple more here. Let's go for 2. Keep lifting the chest. 1 more on the right, 1 more on the left. 1 and 1. Good job. Come back in through center. Just cross your legs. We're just going to have the right shin in front of the left. Try to see if you can slide your feet to almost feel like they're lined up with your knees. And then we're just going to hinge forward from the pelvis. Okay, so I'm going to try to keep my flat back the best I can as I start to walk the hands forward. Start to feel maybe that little bit of resistance in the pelvis and the hips. And then if it feels good, you can start to just bow down, rounding the spine, letting your head hang. Let your chin drop towards your chest. Then walk yourself back up, and we'll go to the right. Right hand on the floor, left arm over the ear. Take a big inhale as you sweep the arm up and over. And then on your exhale, you're just gonna rotate your chest towards the floor, towards that right thumb. And then we're gonna inhale and open it back to the side of the room. So I'm staying to the right. I'm gonna exhale and just kind of twist and reach that left hand. Keep lengthening, keep reaching. And then inhale, stack the shoulders again. 2 more just like that. Slow exhale. Inhale, open. 1 more, exhale. Inhale, open. Let's come all the way up, and we'll go over to the left. Left hand down, right arm scoops up. Just take a big breath there. Good, now on that exhale, we rotate. Keep that lengthening and reaching with that right arm. Inhale, bring that whole rib cage back around. Exhale, rotate chest towards the floor. And I've got a little bit of pressure in that left hand. So it's not just there lazily, it's actually acting kind of like a scaffolding or support system here for my rib cage. Good. Maybe just 1 more. Good. Come back up through center and just switch it to the left shin is in front. Okay, we're gonna just fold forward again from the hips. Maybe you feel a little more resistance on that left hip now with that left shin in front. And again, you can start to fold forward if it feels good to let your head hang and your chin drop towards your chest as you start to feel that lengthening of all the muscles that run from the back of the skull down to the pelvis. Good, and then walk yourself back in. And we're just gonna flow a little bit here from side to side. So this time we're gonna just take the arm over the ear, lean to the side, inhale, and then exhale, come up and float right over to the other side. And then inhale as that arm's overhead. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So the landing kind of becomes my inhale. Just a couple more. Again, kind of turning on the core here, just gently reminding it how to support me as I come up, over, move through space. One more round. Good. All right, hands and knees. We're gonna do some shoulder circles. So just keep the arms straight, make those shoulders move around. Last one, then switch directions. Okay, we're gonna do some cat and cows, but I wanna do our little bit of spinal cord flossing, okay? So this is gonna be our reverse of our natural cat and cow. So you're gonna think of rounding your back up like that angry Halloween cat, but then you're gonna tilt your head forward and look in front of you. Then you're gonna lower the ribs, do your cow posture, but you're gonna drop your chin towards your chest. Round the back, angry Halloween cat, head comes up. Lower the ribs, chin to the chest. Two more like that. Round the back, lift the skull. Lower the ribs, tuck the chin. One more round. Round the back, lift the skull, lower the ribs, tuck the chin. Good. Walk the left hand just a little bit in front of the shoulder. Take that right arm, thread it through, and lower that right shoulder, right ear to the floor. Now I can just start to use a little pressure into my left hand to help assist to the twist. Now if you're feeling it today, you can just stay here, or you can start to sneak that left leg back, maybe even hover right here, just to work a little bit on your balance. Again, up to you. I really don't have any pressure in my head and neck. It's all in my shoulder, my hand, my knee. One more breath. Good, just bring that left knee down. Press back up. And we'll switch sides. Right hand slides a little in front of the right shoulder. Left arm's gonna glide through and under. I'm gonna use that right hand for a little more twist and to help stabilize. Then I'm gonna dip my core in around my spine, sneak that right leg back, and try to hover. Now again, this part's just for you to maybe search a little bit into your balance, challenge your brain a little bit. Maybe just two more breaths. One more. Good, bring that knee back down. Press up into your hands. All right, so on all fours, let's just sneak that right leg all the way back, tuck the toes under, and then take that left arm and reach it forward. Okay, so first thing I wanna do here is make sure my front ribs are hugging together and lifting away from the floor. And I wanna feel that length of my spinal cord like I've got a hose that I just unkinked in my spine. And I'm gonna lift that left leg. So I'm gonna keep this nice long plumb line here. Just holding and lengthening, press into the right arm, make sure the neck feels nice and relaxed. The head feels the support here from the back chain of the body. Turn the right toes to the floor. Just keep the lengthening here. Last big inhale. Exhale, bring that hand down. We're gonna switch sides. So just sneak that left foot to the back of the mat. Right arm's gonna lengthen forward. First thing you're gonna do is pull the front ribs away from the floor. Feel the belly engage, lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor or towards your heel, and then lift that left leg. So check that left shoulder. Make sure it's not hiked up in your ear. Make sure it's kind of rotated down and back. Feeling supported on the back side of the body. Lift through the inner left thigh. Find that plumb line. Keep lengthening out. One more big breath here. Good. Bring that right hand down. Go ahead and just roll out your wrists. All right, so I'm gonna move you here for a minute, but we're gonna just do this in a little bit more of a gentler way. Okay, so we're gonna take this right leg, cross it over the left. Okay, we'll take this real slow. But we've worked a little bit on trying to get longer, right? We're trying to get out of this. So really work the majority of these movements into getting really tall. So I'm just gonna start here with this really simple twist. I've got my left knee bent in front, my right leg is across the front of the thigh, and I'm just gonna twist here. Look over that right shoulder. Now if you have stuff right next to you, you might wanna just kind of slide it out of the way so you don't kick it. Okay, so from here, I'm gonna unwind, place my left hand out to my side of my left hip, come up onto my left knee and extend my right leg out like I'm in a little side plank, okay? Then slowly, I'm gonna come down onto my left hip, keep that right leg up, bring my hands up to my chest in a little prayer position, and then hover that right leg back behind me. Okay, now I'm gonna slowly keep that right leg hovering. I'm gonna bring it out in front. See if I can step that foot onto the floor, lean forward with my weight, push down into my left shin, and sneak that left foot back. So now I'm up in this lunge. Yep, you got it. All right, slowly I'm gonna come back down. Left knee is gonna come back behind my right ankle. I'm gonna try to use my hands as little as possible. So if that was really challenging and you couldn't get your hands or get up without your hands, you can use your hands. And now I'm just gonna twist to my right. Look over my right shoulder. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. We're gonna go slow. Left hand out to the side of the hip, coming up onto that left knee, extending my right leg out and kicking everything in its way. Then I'm gonna lower the left hip, bring my hands up into prayer, hover that right foot as I squeeze it back behind me. So I'm just keeping everything tall and long. Slowly sneak that right foot back around in front. Now again, if you need to bring your hands down in front of you, go ahead. Otherwise, I'm gonna push down into my left shin, right foot. Sneak that left leg back behind me. Now I'm in this lunge. Okay, we're gonna do it one more time. Slide that left knee back behind the right ankle. Lower the hips all the way down. Come into your twist. Last one. Turning, left hand to the floor. Right leg comes up. Side plank on a supported knee. Keep that right foot hovering. Lower the hip. Bring it back behind you. Then I'm going to bring it all the way out in front. Put that right foot down. Push down into your knee, shin, foot. Come up, sneak that left leg back behind you. Good. So now we should be here in this lunge. I'm just going to slide my feet back into that a little bit. Just hovering here on this lunge. We're going to hook this left elbow onto the right knee. Press into the hands and start to turn your chest towards your thumbs. One more breath. Good. Now come all the way up into your crescent lunge. And bring your hands behind your head. Interlace your fingers here. Get a good little purchase to the back of the head. And here are those cat and cows we're going to do in our standing pose here. So exhaling, can you pull the belly button back through your spine and feel a little bit of rounding in the upper back, chin coming towards your chest. And then inhaling, stacking the shoulders back up, letting the head press back into the hands and the chest lift up. 4 more like that. Exhaling, drawing the belly back through the spine, pulling the pubic bone up towards your belly button. Inhaling, lengthening that left heel back, lifting the chest, supporting your spine here still with the belly. 3 more. Last one, check you're not gripping too hard in those right toes. Good, hands come to your heart. We're just gonna slowly shift your weight forward towards that right foot. And let's see if we can pick up the left leg. Now you can be as upright as you wanna be here. I just wanna hover that left foot off the floor. Maybe you start to hinge forward a little bit. You can take it as low as you wanna go. Take your time. And then slowly, we're gonna bend the knees and bring yourself all the way back down to the floor. Left knee behind that right ankle. Till we come all the way down into a seat. Place your hands behind you, and we'll just switch those legs, okay? Let's do it again on the other side. So I've got that left ankle crossed over the right thigh. My first move is just gonna be the twist. Okay, so I'm just gonna twist gently, we'll go over that back shoulder. Let's just take 2 big breaths. Okay. So now I'm gonna take that right hand out to the side of my right hip, come up onto my right knee, and extend my left leg out in this supported side plank. Then I'm gonna come back down on the right hip, stay hovering in that left leg, hands to the heart, and just press the leg back behind you. You can hinge forward. Try to keep that knee as high as you can keep it. Then I'm gonna bring that foot all the way around, step it down in front. Here, if you need to use your hands, go ahead and use your hands. I'm gonna press down into my shin, my foot, and then press it back. That's a little harder on this side for me. Good, and then slowly bringing that knee back in, setting everything back down, keeping those arms together as you rotate and move back. Turning back forward, right hand comes to the outside of the hip, lift yourself up, left leg extends out. Bring it back in, left knee is gonna come back behind you, hovering, keep it lifted. Good, bring it all the way back around in front. Step that left foot, press down into the shin, foot, step it back. Slowly bring it in, set yourself all the way down. Take that turn. Good, one more. Right hand comes out to the side. Lift yourself, extend yourself out, reach. And you're gonna lower the hip, keep that left knee hovering, take it back behind you, hands at your heart. Now slowly bring it in front, step that left foot on the floor, press down into your legs to come up, and sneak that right foot back. Okay, so here we are in this lunge. Just pausing here. And then we're gonna take that right elbow onto your left knee, press into your palms, keep the right hip elevated away from the floor, and just start to turn your chest towards your thumbs. One more breath. Good. Sweep those arms up, crescent lunge. Hands interlaced behind the head, maybe do it a little bit the weird way this time. Press the head back into the hands, zip the ribs in, and then here we go with the cat-cow. Exhaling, pulling the belly button back to the spine, curling the chin towards your chest, upper back's gonna start to flex. And then inhale, lift the chest, lengthen back to the right leg. 4 more. Here's 2. Last one. Good. Slowly start to bring that weight forward into your left foot. You can take the hands wherever you like. And we're just going to hover right here in that warrior 3. And again, you can be more upright. You can be more parallel to the ground. Hips are square to the floor, inner thighs lifting on that right leg. Take one more breath here. Feel your belly zip away from the floor, ribs together. Now slowly bending both knees, that right knee is gonna come behind that left ankle as we come all the way back down. Slowly to your seat. Good. All right. Take your legs out nice and wide like a V. Good. From here, we're just gonna sit up tall. You can take your hand behind you or in front, and you're gonna start to walk yourself forward. Now, again, if you're behind, you're gonna do this tilting forward of your hip bones and back with your sit bones. And if your hands are coming forward, same thing. I'm taking my hip bones forward with me. Try to keep the toes pointed up. And let's see if we can just take maybe 2 big breaths here. See if you can press down a little bit into your heels. Engage your quads. Can you pull your kneecaps up the thigh? Take just maybe 1 more full breath. Good. Sit back upright, and now drag those heels in, and you're gonna place them down on the floor, and we're gonna come into our Malasana squat. So you can use your hands here to just lift your hips, and you're gonna have your heels turned in, toes turned out, elbows push into the knees, knees hug into the elbows, palms are gonna press together. I wanna feel like I'm growing taller up out of my pelvis, pressing down into the feet. Give me 1 more breath. Good. Now slowly we're going to take our time and we're going to come all the way upright. You can keep the hands here. You can reach them forward. You're going to push down into your feet. Turn on your legs and start to come all the way up to standing as slow and controlled as you can. Turn your toes back forward and walk the feet in. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, big circle with the arms. And we're going to dive forward. Supported spine front to back. You can soften your knees. Now once you get here, maybe your feet are about hip-width distance apart. You're going to let your head and shoulders hang. Hands can rest in the creases of your elbows. Just take a big inhale here. Place your hands down on the ground, bend your knees enough that you can look forward, maybe come onto the fingertips. And then exhale, place the hands and step yourself back into your plank position, nice and controlled and slow. Curl the heart forward. If you need to come onto the knees, you can always come onto the knees. Give me 1 more big breath here. Good, lower the knees down. Let's do just a few of those slow push-ups, okay? So take your time. Elbows are gonna slide through to your ribs, and then you're just gonna push back up to straight. Slide those arms along the sides of your ribs, and push back up to straight. 4 more. There's 4. 3. 2. 1. Let's come all the way to your belly. Walk those hands forward so you're on your forearms. The elbows are right under your shoulders for Sphinx pose. So from here, just take your left ear to your left shoulder, pressing down into your right forearm. And then maybe you can just tilt your chin down and away. Right, so my head's tilted to the left. And now I'm just making little yes actions with my head. Come back through center, and then over to the left. Right ear to the right shoulder. Sorry, I guess that made no sense. Left side is going to be worked now. So right ear, right shoulder. Press down into the left forearm. And then again, you can make the little yes nods with your head. Good. Back through center. Start to lower all the way down onto your belly. Just take those arms out wide to a T and keep your upper back lifted and your chest hovering off the floor. See if you can press into the tops of your feet so that your knees start to elevate. And then can we from here just feel those arms float up off the floor. You can even soften the elbows a little bit. No tension or stress in the neck. So if the arms have to come lower by your side, go ahead and just turn it on the back of the body. Now sweep those arms back, take the pinkies up towards the ceiling, and like somebody's holding onto your hands and curling you back, let the chest come away from the floor. Keep pressing into the tops of the feet, lifting the knees. Pubic bone is heavy. Belly button is light. Lengthening the top of the head more than lifting. Last big breath here. Good. Now bring those forearms back onto the ground, back to your Sphinx pose, and just bend your right knee so that your heel comes in. And can you reach back and grab for that right heel? If you can't grab the foot, you can use a strap. And if it's still not accessible, then just stay in your Sphinx pose with the knee bent. See if you can maybe even elevate the thigh a little bit. And press down heavily into the pubic bone. So I want to really take that lengthening to the low back here. I'm trying to stretch the front of the quad. And that's intensified and helped when our pelvis is in that more neutral position. Now here, release the foot, we'll do the left side. So I'm going to grab that foot. I'm going to try to bring it closer to my bottom. Now I'm going to try to keep my knees relatively parallel. So try not to let them go splay out to the side too much. Now again, I'm going to press my pubic bone down as I'm anchoring my tailbone towards the floor or towards my heels, which kind of helps elevate my thigh. Good. Release that foot. Now we're going to just stretch the chest. So take that left arm out to the side. Now I like mine a little bit angled up, maybe even bent. You can take it straight out, whatever feels good to you, but you're going to press into the hand. Roll onto that left side. Maybe you bend the right knee. Place the foot on the floor. Just take a big breath here into the chest. One more. Coming back from center. Going over to the right. Taking it out at a diagonal or straight out from the shoulder. And now we're going to roll on the right side. Okay, now you can rest that left foot anywhere back behind you that doesn't have a bunch of stuff in the way. I'm still pressing into my hand and my right shoulder is hovering off the floor. And my arm bone's pretty externally rotated here. Take one more big inhale, exhale. Good, and slowly coming back through center. We're going to press back into our child's pose. So you can zip the belly up and push into your push-up on the knees and then take it back to child's pose. Keep the knees together for this one. And we're just gonna round the back over the thighs, let the forehead make some contact with the ground. Just take a big inhale here. Good. Press yourself up so you're on your hands and knees. And then I want to finish with just a little bit more myofascial release. So you're going to grab for your little blue ball. Okay, you got your little blue balloon down here. And again, if you don't have any of these balls at home, you can always just use tennis balls or racquetball. We're going to do the hand. Okay, so you're going to take the right hand. We're going to think about doing this thumb pad. Okay, so place your ball of the, place the ball under the pad of the thumb. Okay, and then you're gonna get your fingertips onto the ground. So we'll do middle and first finger on the ground. You can let your, or maybe even middle and ring, and then pinky and first finger can kind of be up. And just like the palm is a smile, right? Like if you think about the bottom of your hand kind of being like a smile, I'm gonna just rock that ball back and forth from the thumb to the pinky side of that smile. So I've got my first finger and my ring finger kind of rooted to the ground like a pivot point. And then I'm going to press some weight. Now, the nice thing about being on our hands and knees, right, is you can put as much or as little body weight as you want. So if you want to be up on your shins, you can. You know, I know we all kind of neglect the hand, but you think about all the work we're doing these days with our hands on our phones, computers, everything driving. It's all connected, so it's never a bad idea to just make sure we release this part as well. Okay, so we've done this back and forth on the smile of the base of the hand and a thumb pad. And now we're gonna roll it on the forearm. So I'm gonna take the ball, I'm gonna roll it from the palm down the center of my forearm and then roll it back. So just like we do with our feet, right? We've done it a lot on the feet where I kind of roll from front to back, putting the pressure. Now, if it's easier for you to do this on your forearm, on your lower on your legs, go ahead. And it's a little challenging because the ball's a little less easy to maneuver here, but see if you can kind of tag those 3 lanes of the forearm, just like we do the bottom of the foot. So you got the center, I got the thumb side, and I got the pinky side. And I just think of this kind of like it's clearing out the static in the nervous system as well, with the bonus of the hydration of the tissues. Last one. All right, and just maybe place the palms down. You can just move back and forth on them and just see if you notice any difference, and then we'll take it to the other side. So again, I'm gonna be on the thumb. I'm kind of here at this base part of my palm, thinking of that kind of like the smile. I'm going to root down from my middle finger, my ring finger, so that I can kind of make that like a pivot to go from side to side. Going thumb to pinky, thumb to pinky. Move it as slow or as fast as you want. This one's a lot crunchier for me. All right, now we're gonna do that rolling, okay? So I'm gonna roll it on my forearm, pick it up, come back. Place to my palm, roll it down my forearm. Now again, it doesn't have to look real pretty. And if it moves off to one side, you can always just grab it and bring it back in. Getting just a few more here. Okay, now just pretend you didn't just roll that around on the floor, because now I'm going to have you roll it around on your face. If you want to wipe it off, you can. All right, so we're going to take the blue ball and we're just going to work around the jaw and the neck a little bit. If you've got to go ahead, because I know we're kind of running over, but I just want to get a little bit of the tension that has to be in the jaw. So we're just going to place it in between the cheekbone and the jaw. you're gonna just kind of make little circles here. Yeah, you can do it with your dog or your kid. Good, but just put a little pressure in there. And then maybe just a little forward back. Maybe you even kind of roll it down the jawbone. Good. And then over here, other side. So again, I'm just kind of making little circles here in the muscles. Good, and then just a little back and forth. Yeah, I highly recommend being loved while you're doing this. It definitely makes it better. Get some snuggles. Okay, and then we're gonna take it, and if you didn't do your jawbone, maybe a little bit of the jawbone too. And then maybe just a little bit right in the center of the forehead. No hanging on me while I'm doing this though, please. Okay, 1 second, almost done. And then I wanna just do the collarbones. So then right, watch if you got jewelry. Right here, under that collarbone, right? So I'm just gonna make it travel. Now your collarbones might look different than mine, right? Mine are kind of angled up, but I'm gonna use my palm, I'm gonna put some pressure, and I'm gonna take it along the baseline of my collarbones. So that might be more straight out, that might be more angled. And then switch sides. Okay. All right, good work.